This program is sponsored by Maronite College of the Holy Family, Parramatta.
Welcome to Educating for Success, filmed here at Maronite College of the Holy Family. My name is Sister Margaret, I'm the principal of the college. Today we're going to look a bit more into secondary education, and I have with me two guests today. Elie Asmar, how are you?
Hi sister, how are you?
And Joseph Messiha, how are you going?
Hi, sister.
Elie, you're the welfare coordinator.
Yep.
Do you want to talk a bit about what that role entails?
Yeah, in simple terms, we look at welfare as being everything outside the classroom. So we look at students' discipline inside and outside the classroom. We look at students' pastoral care, their attendance, their uniform, their grooming, basically their personal development. That's in simple terms.
Okay, we'll go into a bit of detail later on. Joseph, curriculum coordinator, do you want to explain what all that involves?
Yeah, obviously, sister, it's the opposing of everything outside the classroom. I guess we focus a lot more about everything within the classroom and what really goes on between the teacher and the students and how those students progress in their learning.
You can hear the kids out there having a good... Is that the outside of the classroom? All right, so curriculum, so it deals with the subjects pretty much. Do you want to talk a bit about which subjects are taught, electives, etc.?
Yeah, pretty much, sister. The opportunity was given that I work with the heads of each KLA, and obviously each KLA has their own specialty in terms of subjects that they offer.
Explain what KLA is.
All right, KLA basically stands for Key Learning Area. So it represents each of the particular areas that the Board of Studies seemed important as to what each student should be learning in terms of the progression from kindergarten all the way up to year 12 and then moving on to tertiary education.
Okay, so a student going into year 7, what subjects do they do?
All right, they do a number of actually mandatory subjects. So these are a foundational element of subjects that they have to complete. And we're talking English, maths, science, religious studies, in our case being a Catholic Maronite college, looking at music, art, a language that they have to do over those 2 years or 100 hours worth for year 7 and 8.
So we do, of course, Arabic.
Yes, and we have PDHPE. And yeah.
Geography, history.
Geography, history, of course, and of course we're going to be looking at the new Australian curriculum that's coming through as well that we've focused on.
And TAS as well.
And of course we have technology, that's right.
That's right. Okay, so now in year 9, they have a choice of choosing electives. Do you want to explain what subjects are up on offer?
Yeah, a number of electives we have on offer, and we basically look at the trends of the interests that students have been interested in the past with this particular dynamics of this college. Probably the strongest of those subjects that students continue to keep selecting are things like food technology, industrial technology, timber. We're looking at commerce, we're looking at visual arts, we are looking also at the elective Arabic as a language, and we're also looking at
food. You said food tech.
PAS. We're looking at PAS.
Music might be...
Yeah, we're looking at music, although now we are fortunate, obviously, going into stage 6 to finally have music being offered.
Okay, and then in year 11 and year 12, of course, in years they only have... How many subjects do they actually do?
In year 11, depending upon the number of units, obviously we need to complete a mandatory 12 units for the completion of prelim. We're looking at an average of 7 to 8 subjects that students, or 6 to 7 subjects that students end up completing.
Okay, so what subjects do we offer?
We offer a range of subjects, sister, and this is probably one of the most wonderful things about educating here at MCHF, which is obviously the sciences. We've got physics, chemistry, biology. In the maths department, we've got the Extension 2, Extension 1 mathematics, including Maths 2 Unit and Maths General. In the English, obviously, we offer Extension 1 English, we offer English Advanced and English Standard. In the HISI, there's too many. We've got Economics, Business Studies, Ancient History, Modern History, Society and Culture, legal studies. These are all subjects that become very popular at our college. In the vocational education and training, the VET subjects, we have construction, hospitality and retail, which are very strong subjects here at the college, and many of our students do produce quite outstanding results here at the college with those subjects. In the technology area or TAS department, we offer multimedia and textiles. And obviously being a Maronite Catholic college, we also offer studies of religion 1 unit and studies of religion 2 units as well.
Did we mention PDHPE?
Yeah.
Yes, there's
CFS.
also PDH in the PDHP department. There's Community, Family and Services in the CFS. We also offer SLR. In the CAPA or the Creative Arts department, we offer visual arts, which on a regular basis does seem to produce very strong results at our college here, and we also offer drama in those faculties as well.
And music.
And music now for the first time for Year 11, which we're looking forward to those results in Year 12 next year.
Okay, so we're a busy college.
Yes, very.
Education keeps you very busy.
Very much so.
A lot of options.
Yes, and that's something that our students love, and that's why they continue to stay on with us here at the high school.
Okay. Elie, as welfare coordinator, how do we maintain discipline?
Yeah, we've revamped the way we do address discipline. We were more historic, old-fashioned where we were, but now moving with the times, where we're providing now those opportunities for students to improve on their faults. We all know students make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But what's important in regards to discipline is that if that student makes a mistake, they know what they've done wrong. As I said, reflect restorative justice and know how to improve themselves next time so it doesn't happen again. Our teachers are quite comfortable, they're trained in how to address students. We all know that students can have their days. It's human nature. We just ensure that our students can be on task and focused as much as they can inside the classroom and outside, ensuring that they get through their day.
We're going to talk a bit more about positive with merit awards.
Merit awards,
we'll look at that later on. I know in high school we also do excellence awards.
Correct,
Yeah.
sister.
If you want to explain a bit what excellence awards are.
Yeah, basically, basically, sister, the idea of excellence awards is to encourage all the students who achieved 80% or above in 5 or more subjects from Year 7 to 10, and those students in Year 11 and 12 who achieved 80% and above in 4 or more subjects. And the idea behind that is to encourage even those students who haven't achieved those results yet, to give them a chance as well to know that there is always opportunity for them to grow and to progress in their academic life. And by providing these excellence awards, they receive a certificate, and our students who receive DUCS, which obviously means that the student who achieved the DUCS award is the person who came first in most subjects across their learning. We offer them a lovely medal and a lovely encouragement on the stage when they are being called out for academic assembly. And this is a very positive reinforcement of our college, that we continue to encourage the students to feel good about themselves and to know that they are going to be rewarded and commended for their hard work.
Okay, thank you. Talking about merit awards then, what does that involve?
Yeah, that's similar to with the Excellence Awards. It's highlighting and recognising students who are performing and who are doing outstanding work, whether it is teachers can nominate inside the classroom if they're producing outstanding assessments, outstanding results, working hard. It's not about just always achieving results, but even if they're just working hard and diligently over a certain amount of weeks. That's one category. So we have a category of curriculum like excellence initiative. Then we've got another one which is on basically personal development. So if a student is showing maturity, if they're helping out, if they're assisting with staff, if they're being honest in certain situations. And then we have another one based on extracurricular activities. So if they participate in different activities and events and fundraisers and basically anything involving the college life. The 3 categories our teachers can nominate from, and students. 6 merit awards, 6 merit stamps we usually give, and after 6 they get a bronze award, another 6 a silver award, another 6 becomes a principal.
Okay, so they can achieve 4 different certificates, all-rounder, bronze,
silver and
then
gold,
principal,
yeah.
which is given out during the assemblies. Do any students reach the principal's award?
Yeah, they do. It's getting a lot more common these days that they're achieving it, which is quite outstanding by term 2. When we're doing the academic assembly, we're always giving out principals, or at least for 4 or 5 different students. So
We haven't
20.
reached it yet this year.
No, not yet, but we're close. There's a couple of students who are on silver, I think, getting close. So we've set that challenge for those students to meet it by the end of this term. But it's 24 merit stamps. They've been highlighted and recognised by half the year, 24 times on doing something is fantastic achievement. And we were close with one student last year. Actually, we had one student, I think, year before get 2 Principals Award. But it's possible. It's just if they just work hard, they get recognised.
And it doesn't necessarily mean, as you said, academic achievements all
Yeah,
round.
all round.
Yep. Okay, Joe, let's talk about in the classroom. What makes for a good classroom teacher?
Oh, look, sister, there's a number of aspects that I believe makes a good classroom teacher. I think one of the most important things is the ability to manage a classroom in itself. I think the rapport that a teacher builds with his or her students is vital. Once that rapport has been built on a professional basis, not a casual one, from that professionalism between the students and the students are then settled and willing to learn. And I think this ability to be able to settle a class or to get along with the students is a major key factor at this particular college, where you find that students respond very well to a mutual respect and respond very well to a teacher who, we might call it tough love, but there's nothing wrong with a bit of tough love. It's always good to show them that there's a serious side to you and that you always want the best for them. And once they appreciate that, they actually want to do the best for themselves and for you, and basically really feel good about themselves when they're producing that work for you.
Anything you want to add, Elie, about what makes for a good teacher?
Yeah, I think the teachers got to... Our teachers these days, they know how to cater for the different students. They've got to be flexible. We're moving away from the traditional methods of the teacher just standing in the front of the class and doing the lecturing as it was in years ago. And now it's more becoming collaborative. It's becoming a lot more group-based. It's becoming a lot more, set a task. And we have the rule here: 30% teacher input, and then 70% students working. And I think that makes it important as well, and I think that contributes to making it to a positive.
You said it's no longer teachers standing in the front of the room and teaching. So what methods are being implemented in the classroom? What techniques? Moodle, IT? Yeah,
there's different aspects, sister. There's a lot of classroom activities now that are being implemented. So rather than, like Elie mentioned, rather than just continuous teaching, there's a lot more activities being involved. There's a lot more interaction. There's a lot more ability for students to get up and use a smartboard or to be able to log on to Moodle and look at further resources that the teacher has uploaded for them to do extra
iPads.
work.
Do you want to explain what Moodle is to our viewers?
Yeah, basically Moodle is a worldwide program that's being incorporated very highly here in Australian schools, in particular in New South Wales, and it's basically the ability to learn in an online environment via the internet. So at any point in time, wherever you are, whether you're overseas on holidays or whether you are feeling a bit sick and unable to attend school, teachers can upload work and interact with students via this program, which is monitored by the college, and it's a very safe program to be using across the board. So yes.
So teachers from home students can see what's being done on the day.
Very much so. They can even complete exercises and resubmit their work back to the teacher via an online environment. Yes.
Okay.
Even a lot of universities are using it these days.
Yes,
so it teaches the students to...
So students don't go to uni anymore, they just study
to some extent.
Our students might start doing that too.
So it prepares them anyway for life outside of school.
Yeah.
Okay, besides Moodle, you were talking about iPads in the classroom and so on. So if you want to talk a bit more about IT?
Yeah, the technology we all know is rapidly changing and improving, and we try... Actually, I think we're doing quite well. We keep up with that. iPads, there's a lot of apps these days, educational apps, especially our special ed students are now using. They're downloading the apps and they're just meeting the program outcomes and things like that on using the iPads. We've got, Joe said, the interactive whiteboards. They're fantastic, those whiteboards, getting up there and doing work on them. Laptops, we've got everywhere. You look around, you can find a laptop.
I think the ratio we've completed now is almost a 1-to-1 ratio for year 9 to year 12, and that's outstanding that we've actually met that target in terms of the IT, and that's impressive to see.
And that was part of our 5-year plan, and I think we kind of met that quite early. But yeah, there's a lot out there.
What about creativity in teaching? Do you see any creativity from our staff when they teach?
I have to admit, sister, when I walk around from time to time and I see the classrooms, and I know that you yourself or whether Sister Irene and Mr. Asmar do walk around and see the classrooms, there is some amazing teaching going on, and I think that has a lot to do with a number of factors. Once again, I think that the relationship between teacher and student has a huge influence on how the students appreciate and want to do well in the subject. and also the caliber of some of the styles of subjects, whether it be the visual arts, or you see the drama or the music, or you look at some of those scientific subjects where they're actually sitting there with different utensils and actually working with the Bunsen burner and all the rest of it. There is some interactive, creative learning that's actually going on, and that's a vital point to try and keep learning consistently vibrant and enthusiastic, because we all know once we sit there in front of a teacher that's going to talk and talk and talk, within 20 minutes we lose that focus, we're not interested, we're not going to like the subject, we don't want to do well for it.
Or just simply copy notes.
Or just simply copying notes, that's right.
But even as teachers, when we go to university, we're trained these days. Part of the education is to make it a bit more creative, and it's not just basically just standing there and just telling a student, write this and copy that and do this question or read this page. It has to be creative. If it's not creative, the students are disengaged. They're disengaged. Yeah, we open up a whole gate of negativity.
Okay, thank you. We're just going to take a break and we'll be back after the little break we're going to have. Thank you.
This program is sponsored by Maronite College of the Holy Family, Parramatta.
What do you do if your child has too much homework?
To make the learning for the students better, more engaging.
What do you do if your child does not have homework?
And we group the children as per their ability.
Do you prefer the traditional methods of teaching?
Here we've got interactive whiteboards in all of
As
the
well,
classrooms.
yeah.
If you want answers to these questions, watch our program Educating for Success with Sister Margaret Lawson, the Principal of Maronite College of the Holy Family, Parramatta, on Midpoint TV.
Welcome back to Educating for Success, and we have on our panel once again the secondary leaders. So we're going to talk about it a bit more outside of just the classroom. Can you discuss with us, Elie, about pastoral care that happens?
Yeah, we do a pastoral care program. We have a designated time every Friday. If we haven't got a mass or an assembly or anything like that, we have a period where we get either guest speakers or we do a lesson or activity based on personal development, pastoral care of students. And that can include looking at different topics, and topics that come on top of my head, things like for year 10, 11 and 12, safe driving. For 7 and 8, things like on relationships and things like on cyberbullying, bullying in general. Year 9 and 10, sometimes we do a session on safe partying, because we know our students like to do that sort of stuff. We're not going to ignore it. We know it happens. Study skills we look at. Presenters, our priests here at the church come and they do sessions, spiritual sessions as well, and some talks and things like that on different topics that's happening in our Maronite church. But yeah, there's heaps.
What the police like?
We have that's right. We have a police or a youth liaison officer, and they come out once a term or as much as we need, and they're very supportive, and they present different topics as well based on the legal side of things and the police matter side of things.
And we also have invited in the past ex-students to come and,
talk about their experiences when they're here at school and where they've gone.
Okay. Joe, I know in secondary there's a lot happening, but it's a collaboration. We hope it's a collaboration at this college. It's not just teachers teaching students. We hope parents play a role in their child's education. Do you want to talk a bit about what the role of parents are?
Yes, Sister, look, I think parent input is vital in this generation. What we find is that the calibre of subjects are becoming more and more challenging, especially as more and more students are trying to push for university entries. And because of that, the amount of homework or studying that needs to be taken into consideration is vital. And at most times, students can sometimes struggle within the classroom or struggle with their homework. And unless parents are always there, willing to assist their children or willing to encourage them, to check on them, to say, where's your homework? Why aren't you studying? Or what are you up to with your work? Or good on you, if you can achieve this in your homework, we can do this and go out there. There needs to be further parent involvement in encouraging their children to really push themselves academically. let's face it, when you're in the HSC for Year 12, you are not just sitting the HSC amongst the number of colleagues in your school. You are sitting among 60,000 other entries, and those candidates are all pushing for a spot somewhere in some sort of tertiary education.
It's competitive.
It is very much, sister, and we find that parents who start with their children at a younger age to get them used to being in a mode of study and a mode of being committed to their studies end up having less or end up spending less time worrying about their children when they get to a senior level, and they can already just sit back and watch them study on their own without constantly reminding them to do their work and complete their homework, etc.
Independent learners.
Very much so.
Okay, I want to stick with you for now. Homework. Generally, how much homework should a child be receiving?
All right,
kind of homework?
Yeah,
etc.?
no, that's fine. When we're looking at homework, I generally like to look at Year 7 and 8. We need to be looking at if it's just purely homework or homework with study. Minimum 1 hour to an hour and a half is what we should start seeing from our children at home. So if the parents find that the children aren't doing that much homework / study, then we should be questioning why. Year 9 and 10 should be doing an hour and a half to about 2 hours, and Year 11 and 12, we should be looking at 2.5 hours plus. There should be no excuse for anyone in a senior course for the working towards the HSC and wanting to get that good result, studying anything less than 2.5 hours per day. I think it's quite a concern, and it's strange that we find trends that students who don't perform academically well at our college are also the students that haven't studied or aren't bothered in studying. And the opposite goes for those who do perform extremely well, are those who are really committed. And let's face it, you can't achieve something great without working hard for
That's
it
right.
first.
Yeah, we always try to tell the students it's like training. If you're in a sporting team, they train every week, so that when they go on the weekend
That's right.
or later on they perform, they've got to do well. We say to them, you've got to train yourselves, and that's basically your
It's a
training.
competitive world out there, so they've got to get used to it. Elie, the transition program from primary into secondary, do you want to go into detail about that?
We actually do two types of transition, one from the primary into secondary, the Year 6 into 7, and we do another one from the Year 12 into the tertiary. We'll talk first about the primary one. We started this program, I think, about 3 years ago. I put a little program together targeting our Year 5 and Year 6 students, getting them ready for high school years, because it is a big step. Even though they're in the same school, in the same building, or around the same buildings, it's still a big jump mentally, socially, emotionally. So we prepare them from Year 5, and it's basically once a term. We do one session with both year groups. So one session with Year 5, one with Year 6, over the 4 terms in Year 5 and Year 6. So they're getting 8 sessions altogether where we get them to experience different subjects. So our different subjects or different departments, KLAs, they put lessons together. They do those lessons with those students. And on top of that, we prepare them as well for the non-academic side as well. So we address things like bullying. We'll address things like how to read a timetable, the bell times, going around the high school. What's it like going from just being in the one classroom 5 days a week
with one teacher,
then getting them to experience 5 different teachers in the one day, and moving around the building, and just basically the general procedures for high school. So that takes a good couple of years. And the transition continues on into Year 7, where we join on the peer support program. And that peer support program continues on. We have those Year 10 leaders. They just work with the Year 7s to make sure that transition that they're doing, they're comfortable in it, and they're prepared for it.
And do you find the Year 7s then settle quite quickly into?
Well, we found in the last 2 years especially that a lot of our teachers are saying, well, it's like our Year 7s, they're so comfortable. It's like they've never been
comfortable.
Yeah, sometimes too comfortable. But that could either mean one of two things: either that program that we're doing is successful, or it could just mean that the students are actually very ready for high school these days, and it all comes back to that transition I think that we're doing with them.
Okay, and then the Year 12 transition into
so,
university or out there.
It's not as the Year 11 and 12. It's not as focused as we do with 7 and 8. Year 5 and 6 into Year 7. But in their pastoral programs we spoke about before, they get university lecturers coming out, how to fill out UAC, or how to read a UAC book, how to fill out university applications, getting, as we said, ex-students that come and the ones that are at university talking about their life and how they've adapted to it. they're the sorts of things that we do it as well. We call it our little tertiary transition program to help our Year 12s
Yep.
get into the real world.
And also, Joe, we discussed the ATAR with them and how it's calculated.
Yes,
and so on.
very much so. Between myself and the careers advisor, we spend quite some time explaining to students from Years 10, 11 and 12 in particular about the importance of ATAR and how it's calculated, including all the other bonus points that can be granted in terms of different disabilities or different events that may happen in life. And it's very important that students have a real understanding about how the ATAR is calculated, because sometimes students get very overwhelmed or very stressed as they approach the HSC, and that can cause all sorts of havoc. So we do try to make sure that they understand it well and understand the pros and cons of how it works and why they need to work hard consistently for a prolonged period of time until the very end of their HSC.
We're running out of time, so just the final question. Anything you want to say about secondary in general that we've missed out on?
Yeah, I think it's important to note that the spirituality is really important, and I think the Maronite Catholic tradition, because we are a Maronite Catholic school, it's really important for our viewers to know that we focus a lot on that inside our classroom, you know, starting lessons with prayer, the importance of Mass, celebrating important feasts and events in our Maronite Catholic calendar, and continuing just to promoting that spirituality within our school amongst our students. I think it's really important.
I think something that I take a lot of pride in this particular college is seeing the transitional positive change in this place, academically especially. It seems that a lot of members of our community, in the Lebanese community, are now hearing about the amazing work that this college is doing. And for a lot of students who may have left us at the end of their primary career life, they're actually coming back to us in high school and rejoining us and wanting to be a part of our college once again and wanting to graduate to Year 12 simply because they can see the academic growth and they can see the seriousness in our spiritual life here at the college, which has improved and has increased and is causing the holistic approach of the student to really walk out of this college and move on to a bigger and brighter world, representing a true essence of Christianity and academic excellence.
Okay, thank you, Joe, and thank you, Elie, for your time.
Thank you, Cecil.
And we'll wind up this episode, but we'll see you again in Educating for Success. Thank you.